Let me ask you something. How much did you spend on fertilizer last year? $20? $50? If you are anything like I was, you probably spent more than you want to admit. Bags of granular fertilizer in the spring, bottles of liquid feed every 2 weeks through the summer. Maybe some bone meal, some blood meal, and whatever else the garden center convinced you that your soil desperately needed. By the end of the season, you have a shed full of half-empty products and a credit card statement that makes you wonder if you should have just bought your vegetables at the grocery store. Now here is what should make you stop and think. About an hour west of Philadelphia, there are entire Amish communities growing gardens that outproduce anything in your neighborhood, and they have never purchased a single fertilizer product. Not one bag, not one bottle. Their soil is so dark and rich, it looks like chocolate cake, and they built it entirely from materials that cost them nothing. $0. 0 trips to the garden center, so either they know something we have forgotten, or we have been paying for something that was never necessary in the first place. The answer is both. My name is Dennis Harwell. I have been gardening for over 30 years, and for most of those years, I was a loyal customer of the fertilizer aisle. I had a feeding schedule. I had products for spring, midsummer, and fall preparation. And then I spent a Saturday morning watching an Amish farmer prepare his beds for planting. No bags, no bottles, just a wheelbarrow full of dark, crumbly compost and a pile of aged manure from his barn. He worked it into the soil with a fork, planted his seedlings, and walked away. 6 months later, his garden produced more food per square foot than mine ever had. That was the moment I realized I had been overcomplicating the simplest thing in gardening. Let me show you what the Amish use instead, and how you can do the same thing without spending a dime. The Amish have a guiding principle called Gelassenheit, which means yielding to the natural order. In their gardens, this shows up as a deep commitment to what I call the closed loop. Nothing leaves the property, nothing gets thrown away. Kitchen scraps go into the compost pile, animal manure goes into the garden, stove ash goes into the soil, spent plants get turned back under, cover crops grow during the off-season and get incorporated in spring. Every output from the household becomes an input for the garden, and every output from the garden feeds the household. There is no waste in this system because waste is just fertility that has not been returned to the soil yet. Modern gardening broke this loop. We throw our kitchen scraps in the trash, haul our yard waste to the curb, and then drive to the store to buy back the nutrients we just threw away packaged in a plastic bag with a markup. The Amish never broke that loop, and their soil shows it. Here are the 5 free fertility sources they use and exactly how you can use them too. If you do only one thing from this entire video, make it this. Start composting. Real composting, not the passive pile in the corner of the yard that has been sitting there for 3 years, turning into a weedy mess. The Amish compost actively and intentionally, and it is the single most important fertility source in their entire system. Here is how they do it. You need 2 things, brown materials and green materials. Browns are carbon-rich, dried leaves, straw, shredded cardboard, wood chips. Greens are nitrogen-rich, kitchen scraps, fresh grass clippings, garden trimmings, coffee grounds, manure. The ratio that produces the best compost is roughly 3 parts brown to 1 part green by volume. Build your pile in layers, a 6-inch layer of browns, then a 2-inch layer of greens, then another 6 inches of browns. Water each layer so it is moist like a wrung-out sponge, not soaking wet. The pile should be at least 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet. That is the minimum size that generates enough internal heat to break down properly and kill weed seeds. Turn it every 2 to 3 weeks with a garden fork, moving the outer material to the center. A well-managed pile will reach internal temperatures of 130 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit within the first week. That heat is your engine. In 3 to 4 months during warm weather, you will have finished compost. Dark, crumbly, earthy-smelling material that does not resemble anything you put in. Apply 3 to 4 inches of this to your garden beds every spring, worked into the top 8 to 10 inches of soil. This single amendment provides a slow-release source of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and every micronutrient your plants need. It also feeds earthworms, beneficial bacteria, and mycorrhizal fungi that form the biological backbone of healthy soil. The Amish have been doing this for generations. It is not complicated. It just requires consistency. The Amish have horses, cows, and chickens, which means they have a constant supply of manure. And they treat that manure not as waste to be disposed of, but as the most valuable fertility resource on their property. Now, I know what you are thinking. I do not have a horse. Most of us do not. But free manure is easier to find than you think. Horse farms, small cattle operations, and local riding stables are often desperate to get rid of manure and will let you haul away as much as you want for nothing. Some will even deliver it. The critical rule is this: never apply fresh manure directly to your garden. Fresh manure is too hot with nitrogen. It will burn plant roots, introduce harmful bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella, and it can contain viable weed seeds. The Amish age their manure for a minimum of 6 months and ideally a full year before it goes anywhere near food crops. They pile it in a designated area, let it compost down with natural rainfall and microbial activity, and by the time it reaches the garden, it is dark, crumbly, and mild. It looks and smells like rich earth, not like a barn floor. Apply aged manure at a rate of 1 to 2 inches over your garden beds in early spring, mixed in with your compost. Chicken manure is the hottest, highest in nitrogen, so use it more sparingly, roughly ½ an inch, mixed with other compost. Horse and cow manure are milder and can be applied more generously. The combination of compost and aged manure is the 1-2 punch that builds Amish quality soil. Compost provides the biological diversity and structure. Manure provides the concentrated nutrition. Together, they do everything a bag of commercial fertilizer claims to do, and they do it better because they feed the entire soil ecosystem, not just the plant. If you heat with wood or have a fire pit, you are currently throwing away a valuable fertilizer every time you clean out the ashes. The Amish save every bit of hardwood ash from their stoves and fireplaces and put it directly on their gardens. Wood ash is rich in potassium, which drives fruit production, root strength, and disease resistance in plants. It also contains calcium, magnesium, and trace minerals. It is essentially a free, natural version of the potash products you see at the garden center. Apply wood ash at a rate of roughly 1 to 2 pounds per 100 square feet of garden bed. Sprinkle it evenly over the soil surface in early spring and work it in lightly with a rake or fork. That is it, 1 application per year. Now, there is an important limitation here. Wood ash raises soil pH. If your soil is already alkaline, meaning a pH above 7, adding ash will push it further in the wrong direction. Before you add ash, get a soil test from your county extension office. It costs $5 to $15 and tells you your current pH. If you are between 5.5 and 6.5, wood ash will benefit you. If you are at 7 or above, skip it entirely. Compost tea is exactly what it sounds like. You steep finished compost in water, strain out the solids, and use the liquid to feed your plants. The Amish have been making it for as long as they have been composting, and it serves a specific purpose that solid compost cannot. It delivers beneficial microorganisms and soluble nutrients directly to the root zone or the leaf surface of actively growing plants during the season, when working solid amendments into the soil would disturb established roots. Here is the method I learned from an Amish grower and have used for the past 6 years. Fill a 5-gallon bucket about 1/3 full with finished compost. Fill the rest with water. If you are on municipal water, let it sit uncovered for 24 hours first to allow the chlorine to dissipate, because chlorine kills the beneficial bacteria you are trying to cultivate. Stir the mixture vigorously once or twice a day for 3 to 5 days. After straining through burlap or an old pillowcase, the remaining liquid is your compost tea. Apply it directly to the soil around your plants using a watering can, or dilute it further to a light amber color and use it as a foliar spray in the early morning when leaf pores are open. Use it within 24 hours of straining as the beneficial microorganisms begin to die off once they run out of food in the liquid. Apply compost tea every 2 to 3 weeks during the active growing season. It is not a replacement for solid compost and manure. It is a supplement that keeps the biological activity in your soil charged up during the months when your plants are drawing heavily on the system. Think of compost and manure as the savings account and compost tea as the checking account. Both are necessary for a healthy balance. This is the step that most home gardeners skip entirely, and it is the one the Amish would never dream of skipping. After the fall harvest, most of us leave our garden beds bare through. The winter, rain compacts the soil, wind erodes the top layer, nutrients leach away. By spring, the soil you spent all season building has degraded, and you start the cycle of buying products to replace what nature took while you were not looking. The Amish plant cover crops on every bed the moment the summer harvest is cleared. The two most common choices are crimson clover and winter rye. Crimson clover is a legume, meaning it fixes atmospheric nitrogen directly into the soil through a symbiotic relationship with bacteria in its root nodules. You are literally growing your own nitrogen fertilizer for free. Winter rye grows a dense root system that prevents erosion, suppresses winter weeds, and adds organic matter when turned under in spring. Here is how to do it. After your last fall harvest, clear the bed of spent plants. Scatter crimson clover seed at a rate of roughly 1/4 pound per 100 square feet, or winter rye at roughly 1/2 pound per 100 square feet. Rake the seed lightly into the soil surface and water it in. The cover crop will germinate and grow through the fall, go dormant, or grow slowly through winter depending on your zone, and by early spring, you will have a lush green bed full of free nutrients. 3 to 4 weeks before your spring planting date, cut the cover crop down and turn it into the soil with a garden fork. Let it decompose for those 3 to 4 weeks, and then plant as normal. That bed now has more nitrogen, more organic matter, and better structure than it had the previous fall. And you did not buy a single thing. This is the step that closes the loop completely. Your garden is feeding itself. Now, let me be honest about the timeline. If your soil has been managed with synthetic fertilizers for years, there is a transition period. Synthetic fertilizers feed plants directly but do little for soil biology. The first season after switching, you might see results that are equal to or slightly less than what you got with commercial products. Do not panic. By the second season, as microbial life rebuilds, you will see stronger root systems, better disease resistance, and more consistent production. By the third season, your soil will be working for you in a way no bag of fertilizer can replicate. If you are in zones 3 through 5, plant winter rye as your primary cover crop because it handles hard freezes better than clover. Start your compost pile in a sunny spot to keep it active longer into the fall. In zones 8 and 9, you can grow cover crops nearly year-round, and your compost will finish faster due to the heat, sometimes in as little as 2 months during summer. Here is what I want to leave you with. The Amish fertility system is not primitive. It is not old-fashioned. It is a closed-loop biological system that university soil scientists are now confirming is more sustainable and often more productive than anything you can buy in a bag. The Amish just got there first, because they never had a garden center to distract them from what the soil actually needed. You do not need to spend another $1 on fertilizer. You need a compost pile, a source of manure, a bag of cover crop seed, and the patience to let the system build. Start this season. Pick one of these 5 methods and commit to it. If all you do is build a proper compost pile and start applying it consistently, you will see results. Add the others over the next 2 to 3 years, and you will build soil that your grandchildren could grow food in. That is not an exaggeration. That is what the Amish have already proven across generations. Tell me in the comments which of these you are going to start with. And if you know a gardener who is still spending money every spring at the fertilizer aisle, do them a favor and send them this video. I will see you in the next one.